Hello everyone, Spectre here, back in with our Marvel content champion today. I'm bringing you guys the final tier list for all of these class tier list videos because I'm going to start doing a monthly tier list. But first, I just want to do each class individually because there's so many champions in the game, and I want you to have a reference on why I believe each character is in the tier list that they're in. And so yeah, going forward, I'll just be going over everything, all the new stuff at once, and yeah. Just wanted you guys to have a frame of reference if you're wondering why this character's in that tier. And yeah, so you can always just use these as a reference or a bookmark if things don't change. But with that being said, let's just go over the emojis real quick. Because as you can see, there's a ton of emojis. And yeah, if you see the star, that means the champion likes to be awakened. If you see the arm, that means they want high sig. And because, wanting a high sig and being awakened are, you kind of need one to have the other. If they have the arm, I kind of didn't put the star because obviously if you want high sig, that means you want the awakened ability. If you see the skull, that means you benefit from recoils. And when I say benefit from recoils, I mean like if you can reduce the poison and bleed damage, if you benefit from having a bleed and poison on you, if you are immune to bleed and poison, or if you generally just don't require a lot of special attacks to be thrown. I count that as benefiting from recoils because then you just get a flat 40% damage. I also note the characters that really benefit from relics with the Stonehenge guy. And now, while all champions do benefit from having a relic on them, I wanted to note the characters that really, really benefit from relic and just kind of turn to completely different champions. If you see the shield, that means they are a strong defender. And if you see two shields, that means they are some of the best defenders in the game. If you see the heart, that means they are nice with synergies or sometimes even require synergies. If you see the guy with the shades, that means they require skill of play or at least some kind of knowledge of the game, or all around they're just kind of like have a unique playstyle that you have to get used to. If you see the guy who's like kind of sweating with a smile, that just means I'm a little biased towards them. So, this is my tier list. Obviously, we all have different experiences in this game, so I feel and I know that I'm biased towards some characters, and some characters may be higher than you would put them. And yeah, I just wanted to note that if I think I'm biased somewhere, I want to just let it be known that, hey, you may not think this guy is good. I think they're good. So yeah, I just wanted to note that. And yeah, if you see the hands together emoji, that just means I'm unsure of this character. Please help me in the comments below. If you see a thumbs up, that means I'm thinking about promoting them. If you see a thumbs down, that means I'm thinking about demoting them. And then you're not going to see any of these blue arrows in this video, but going forward, you'll be seeing them for like new entries, characters that got promoted or demoted, and stuff like that. So yeah, with that, let's go on to all the tiers. So starting with trash, these are some of the worst characters in the game, and especially of their class. You pull any of these guys, probably ruin your day. If you see now for mid, to step up from trash, they're probably still characters you do not want to pull, but they have like some level of use, kind of, if you have to use them. Like, they're definitely still bad, but they're not complete trash, if that makes sense. Then we get the great champions. These are pretty much your average champions, in my opinion. Like, you pull these guys, they can do what you need them to do. They're pretty average. They're not super insane, but they're decent. Amazing is when you start to get characters that like are able to go above and beyond, and they can do a lot of damage or have like nice utility, but it's nothing too amazing. It is amazing, but it's not like super duper amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're above average. Once we get into the god tier, these are where you start getting to characters that like will definitely make your day if you pull them. Like, they could do so much in the game. They could do like a lot. They're even more above and beyond champions. And yeah, once we get to beyond god tier, these are some of the best characters in the game, and especially of their class. And yeah, in the skill class, we only have 3. Everywhere else, it's pretty balanced. Like, yeah, the big chunk in the middle kind of like evening out. But in my opinion, the gap between beyond god tier and god tier in the skill class is probably the widest out of all the classes. Like, these 3 are just super insane on their own, and they're just such a big step up from god tier. But going into them individually, we have Bullseye, who is probably one of the most insane defenders in the game, and has been just such a pain in the ass to fight since he's been added. Yeah, I mean, Bullseye is a no-brainer, and he's just finding more and more uses on attack as well, especially with his guaranteed crits, not being able to miss. Like, he can do so freaking much in this game outside of just being put on defense. Kate Bishop, however, she is a complete monster on attack, and she benefits greatly from the Winter Soldier relic. She requires a little bit of skill to play because you gotta manage a lot of stuff throughout the fight, and she has a nice synergy with America Chavez, which allows her to put on an additional like stack of trick arrows, but it's not needed at all. She is fine without it, but I just want to note that this is a pretty powerful synergy, and if you are running her in Necropolis, you probably do want America Chavez. She's a little bit annoying on defense with like her evade that stuns you, and you really want her awakened. But yeah, since I remember when like Necropolis was like a thing, people really woke up to see how good Kate Bishop is. And yeah, I don't think she's going to become a 7-star anytime soon, even though we could have voted for her. But I think that now Kabam's like, oh yeah, no, this champion is actually kind of broken. We probably won't be seeing her, at least for a while. Speaking of characters that aren't 7-stars, Nick Fury actually just became a 7-star. I didn't think we'd ever see a 7-star Nick Fury, but I was so wrong. He is easily one of the best defenders in the game, strictly because of his awakened ability, just basically making you have to kill him twice. Yeah, that life mile decoy is still super insane. Nick Fury is probably one of the best champions in the game who's like aged like fine wine. I don't think there's like a more fitting champion to that quote than Nick Fury. But yeah, Nick Fury's insane. He requires a little bit of skill to play if you do want to play him as efficiently as possible, where you're only kind of playing him at like 30%, which is very low. And so yeah, you don't really want to be messing up. But other than that, I mean, you just really want him awakened, and if you can have him at a high sig, he's even better. Now going into the God tier. So we got Aegon. So Aegon, once he's fully ramped at 1,000 combo, he is easily the best character in the game. The only problem is that it takes so long to ramp him up. He's not really useful in anywhere outside of like things like Necropolis, Abyss, Labyrinth. So I feel like I can't really put him in Beyond God tier because he only has one use, and there's there are so many characters that are coming out now that are just like built for like long form content, and Aegon is not really the most cost efficient character. It's basically like if you just want to blast through stuff, just get units and he can blast through it. Like, he is Unit Man's best synergy partner. So yeah, I do still think he's good. He's definitely worthy of God tier, but I don't think he's beyond God tier worthy. Next up we got Blade, who I actually think is such a amazing character. Blade came out and he used to be the king of the game. You needed Blade if you wanted to do things very easily. But the game has evolved, got more and more characters, and I still think Blade has held up pretty good. He is very recoil friendly because if you get him at least awakened, he has probably one of the best regenerations in the game. And if you get him high sig, you just can regen more for less power, for less power spent. And yeah, the Blade Trinity is like the most famous synergy team in all of the contest, where you got Blade, Stark Spidey, and Ghost Rider. So Stark Spidey is actually still a really good champion. The only bad thing is you have to bring Ghost Rider. But, once he has that full synergy team, he can turn off so many fights and make them super easy. So I personally think Blade is worthy of the God tier, just because of all that stuff adding up into like one champion. And yeah, I think I'm a little biased, but I feel strong about putting Blade in God tier. Another champion I feel strong about putting in God tier is Chilth. So Chilth is first off, she's very annoying on defense. She has so many cleanses that she could just like keep getting. So she's pretty good for like things that she's getting tons of debuffs on her. She's really good for that. Like, if you need someone to just cleanse debuffs off yourself, bring Chilth. She is just so crazy for that kind of stuff. But yeah, even on attack, as long as you can bleed the opponent as well, she is pretty insane. And in scenarios where you have the correct spacing, she can be really insane, just stacking up her bleeds and pausing her bleeds, and the opponent will just melt like Chilth is such a fantastic champion. She's really good in stuff like Necropolis, but unlike Aegon, she's useful outside the Necropolis. So a character I'm actually thinking about promoting is Crossbones. So Crossbones is a character you want to have Awaken at high sig, because he could reduce the ability accuracy in the opponent based on the number of Furies he has, or that might be in his base kit. But also, it gives them a chance to shrug off debuffs and turn those into Furies. So he actually is really, really good. He could be a really good shrugger if you have him Awaken at high sig. He's pretty good on defense because of that ability as well. And Crossbows just can output so much damage, but he's actually one of the most stressful characters to play because it's so easy to lose all of his Furies. But in some situations, if you have the right spacing, Crossbones is just super insane. He is probably one of the characters that requires the most skill to play, just because of how you constantly have to worry about your Fury buffs. Make sure you pause them, make sure you refresh them, heavy intercepting, that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you can do all that stuff, Crossbones is an easy Beyond God tier in my opinion. I just took mine up to rank 3, used him for a Necropolis half path for the Korean challenges. He did so freaking good. He was almost better than my Guillotine 2099 in Necropolis, and she's built for that shit. So yeah, Crossbones, pretty insane. He's definitely a champion that will benefit you if you really learn him. Alright, Kingpin. So Kingpin, he is a big wall of a defender. He's got Unstoppable. He can shrug off as well. He is just very, very annoying. He has such a big health pool. But he's also pretty good on attack as well. He's fallen off a bit, but I still think he is worthy of the God tier. He's still one of the better skill champions in the game. Korg. I mean, Korg is just specifically a defender. You don't really want to use him on attack, but I mean, he is one of the best defenders in the game. And in things like Battlegrounds, the right meta can make this guy such a pain in the ass. And we're coming up on an invade meta where Korg, you don't really want to punch his block. So yeah, he might be an insta ban just because of how he works with that node. But I mean, just Korg has been such a staple, has been a staple defender since he's been added to the game, and he's going to be there for a while. You definitely want him high sig, so your opponent takes damage when removing his rock charges, and the higher the sig, the more damage they take. Mole Man is such a good character as well, especially after his buff so long ago. He's got those guaranteed crits. He's annoying on defense with his Shrug and Unstoppable as well. Mole Man, such a phenomenal character. Okoye is actually someone that I originally had in Amazing, but after seeing more of her, I definitely had to promote her before doing this video. She is super insane. You definitely want her Awaken at a higher sig, but yeah, she is just crazy. I really need to pull her out of the Titan Crystal, and I can maybe see myself putting her in Beyond God tier, but I do want to do a little bit more research and even see if I can get some hands-on gameplay with her if I ever pull her. But yeah, Okoye, such a phenomenal character, and I think people are still really sleeping on her. Shang-Chi is also a really good character. He can do so much in the game. He has Cleanse, he can slow, he has Unblockable, he could stun you with a full 5-hit combo, he has guaranteed crit, he has such a nuke on his special too. He is so freaking good, so versatile, so insane. You can just switch up your playstyle as need be. Shang-Chi is such a fantastic champion. He has such a good Awakened ability as well, though I wouldn't say it's needed, but it's kind of one of those things where it's yeah, I want my cupcake to have icing on it, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, also because he has those Cleanse, he is good with recoils, he doesn't require that many special attacks as well. Kind of just want to use some special 3s or just go for some big special 2s. But yeah, Shang-Chi, such a nuke, such a really good character. Valkyrie, so speaking of the new meta that's coming out with Invade, Valkyrie's probably going to be your best option. But even outside of that, Valkyrie is such a very good character. She's one of those characters that really benefit from striking the opponent's block. And yeah, she could just completely turn off Unstoppable if she's fully awakened. She benefits from her own relic, of course. Yeah, Valkyrie is just such a nuke. She can do a lot of niche fights and even some really big annoying fights she can do pretty well. Valkyrie is just such an insane character who can output so much damage. Yelena. I mean, Yelena, I was originally putting her in here, but just because like I didn't want to. I'm trying to think out of the word. It's like I didn't want to like bank on her too much. You know, I didn't know how good she was going to be, but you know, I definitely can't argue with the results. I don't think I've ever lost a Battlegrounds match where I put Yelena on defense. She is that insane of a defender with her, like, was it like the Reverberate, I think? It's super annoying. I can't stand fighting Yelena. Most people probably can't stand fighting Yelena. She's a 5 out of 5 defender. One of the best defenders in the game right now. Could be a little bit of recency bias where, you know, she just came out. People are still learning how to fight her. We'll definitely see how she plays out, you know, given this month where more people are pulling her from the Titan Crystal and more people are learning how to fight her and come up with counters. But for now, I think she's fine in the God tier. We wouldn't put her in Beyond God tier. She's definitely way too new for that. But yeah, if she turns out Yelena is still like one of the best defenders in the game, there's not really a whole lot of counters, maybe she can be in Beyond God tier because she's also pretty good on attack as well. And she's also going to be really good for the next meta coming up as well. Alright, next up, starting amazing, we got Agent Venom. So this is assuming Agent Venom has his full synergy team with Scorpion and Kraven. If he doesn't have that synergy team, he's probably in great, arguably mid. But once you have that synergy team, he just becomes a whole new champion. He has some of the highest DPS output in the game. And I would consider him recoil as friendly because, first off, he can just shrug off the bleed and poison. And it's just increasing your instant rate and bleed output so much that it kind of almost reduces the need for specials you need to throw out. So I would definitely consider Agent Venom recoil as friendly. And he benefits so much from the Winter Soldier relic. And yeah, also because he has a lot of cleanse and tenacity, he is a pretty good defender as well. But someone who's a better defender than him is Atuma. So Atuma is one of the most annoying defenders in the game. You really need a specific counter for Atuma, and he benefits greatly from being awakened and makes the opponent take a lot more Thorns damage. But yeah, if you don't have a counter to Atuma, you're just going to take so much BS damage, like a lot of Thorns damage. You definitely want some characters to have like a lot of debuffs to reduce the need to hit him, or someone that has a lot of non-contact hits. Alright, Baron Zemo. So Baron Zemo actually has a non-contact hit. But, you know, you probably still don't want to run him against Atuma. But, yeah, I mean, Baron Zemo, he's pretty good in, like, long-form stuff. We're able to, like, rack up all those indefinite bleeds. He has a lot of cleanses. He's very annoying on defense with, like, his non-contact medium attacks that, you know, you can't parry against. He can crit through block. He's just very, very annoying. Black Cat is pretty good as well. She has a lot of ability accuracy reduction, so she can turn off a lot of fights, and she also just does so much freaking damage if you can bleed the opponent. Like, Black Cat is super good. You definitely want to run her with the Black Widow relic because that can make her deal more damage with like also her sabotage ability. Yeah, she can output a lot of damage and just reduces ability accuracy a ton. Also, Bloodstone, I definitely think is very underrated. Definitely one of my more personal biased champions. She's actually like in my top 3 for my. She's my third favorite champion. So undoubtedly, I'm a little biased towards her, but I also think she just has like some nice niche utility, being able to just shrug off non-damaging debuffs and gain that precision. She can counter evade with like Cold Snap. Like, I think she's really good. She benefits greatly from the Winter Soldier relic, and she can be pretty annoying on defense because if you don't know how she works, she's actually won me so many Battlegrounds matches because with this season, you know how like if you hit the opponent, you put a bleed on them. Well, if Elsa Bloodstone is bleeding and the opponent is not a mutant, you just take degeneration damage as long as that bleeds on her. So she could actually be a sleeper defender if you don't know about that mechanic. And that ability has won me so many Battlegrounds matches, especially with this season, because you know you hit the opponent, you could put a bleed on him. So yeah, Elsa Bloodstone, you know, could be a really insane sleeper defender. Another character who, I mean, these next 3 are kind of me being a little biased, but Gwenpool, I really like Gwenpool. She's such a very simple champion, but once you get her awakened, she can basically turn off fights. You just gotta get her to like 50 combo, and then she reduces ability accuracy by 100%. So that's not really that hard to do. It doesn't take that long to do, and she's more so just like she just put bleeds on the opponents. If you have a special 2, you can basically stop the opponent from using special attacks. So as long as the opponent can bleed, Gwenpool is such a very, very good character. Another good character, I believe, is Hawkeye. So, Hawkeye, I think, is such a very slept-on character, but I think he is probably one of the most versatile champions in the game. Like, also, he wants to be awakened, though, just so you can get those crit bleeds. But, yeah, he has so many synergies that could just allow him to do so many things. Like, if you don't believe me, go in, like, Aunt May, go in Kaiju, look at all of Hawkeye's synergies. Like, he's able to switch up his damage type from, like, bleed, poison, rupture even. Like, he is super insane. Just take a look at the synergies. Like, he has so much potential. And I know synergies, you know, aren't really big right now, but if you want to use Hawkeye, if all you have is Hawkeye, you could probably do most things with the right synergy team. So I personally believe also I just love Hawkeye. His special 1 power drain, so freaking good. He has a slow off the heavy attack. Like, he can do so much in this game. People gotta wake up on Hawkeye. Alright, I'm gonna start trying to speed through things. Killmonger. Killmonger's still one of the best defenders of the game. He requires a specific counter, that being armor break. And yeah, he's just so freaking annoying if he has like a lot of debuffs on him. He gains power, increases combat power rate. Hate Killmonger. Lumitrix is pretty new. He came into the contest and he's got those guaranteed crits. He's immune to rupture also. Like, he's got a lot going for him, but I don't think he's like super insane. Spider-Woman definitely took a spotlight off of him, but yeah, Lumitrix, pretty good, pretty solid champion. Still, Spider-Man can do a lot. He outputs a lot of DPS. He can, he's a nice slow counter, but yeah, I mean, he just kind of deals so much freaking damage, and he's a little annoying to fight, and I'm a little biased because I like Stealth Spider-Man. Black Panther Civil War, really good after his buff. He does so much damage now, but I don't think he has the most utility. Same thing with Black Widow. She does a lot of shock damage, but doesn't really have any utility outside of her shocks. Falcon, he has a lot of utility. He can shut down a lot of fights, especially if you want him high sig though, just so he can like gain cruelties, which increases damage when he like an opponent's ability fails to trigger. But yeah, Falcon, he's very boring, but he can get your results. But he doesn't really do anything like super flashy, or he doesn't have like anything like super amazing in his kit, aside from, you know, just reducing the opponent's ability accuracy by a bit. Character I'm thinking about promoting is Hitmonkey, especially since he is a 7-star now, and I think with stat focus, put that into cruelty, I think Hitmonkey is going to be hitting like an absolute truck. He's really good, I believe, with the Black Panther relic, and he's pretty annoying on defense, and I'm a little biased towards Hitmonkey. I like Hitmonkey, so that's also a reason why I'm thinking about promoting him. I'm noticing I have a lot of personal bias in the skill class. Yeah. Jabari Panther, pretty good character as well. She benefits from recoils because you can just cleanse those off, and you know, she has massive special 2s. But yeah, she's also mostly just a defender, which I forgot to put on her. There we go. So yeah, she's also a pretty good defender. Mantis is also a pretty good defender with her sleeps, but outside of that, she's also a pretty potent attacker as well. She has like big special 2s that can just almost one-shot opponents, especially if you have her high ranked. Massacre is also going to be good for the next upcoming Battlegrounds meta with Invade, because once again, just like Valkyrie, he's all about hitting into the opponent's block. However, outside of his damage going through the opponent's block, he doesn't really have any utility outside of that. Moondragon's pretty good. She has nice utility. She's a solid defender. Nice damage, but like all around, she's a pretty solid champion, but doesn't really go above and beyond, in my opinion. Silver Sable, also a pretty annoying defender with like just all of her unique mechanics. She's pretty nice on attack now after her buff, but still not an insane champion. Same thing could be said about Thor Ragnarok. Does a lot of shock damage, can do nice burst. Doesn't really have a lot of utility, but he has a nice power gain on defense that can definitely mess you up and force you to like throw special attacks even if you don't want to. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, still pretty nice champion, but not super crazy. Taskmaster, I actually think is pretty underrated. Most people probably have him here, but once again, we got another character I'm a little biased towards, just because I think his ability accuracy reduction is nice. I really like his play style. I think he has nice bursts and nice utility, being able to be immune to debuffs after getting inflicted with a certain number of debuffs. Like, I think Taskmaster's a little underrated. He's better than most people. He's better than most people would put him. So I'm putting him up a tier. So yeah, I'm a little biased for Taskmaster. Would love to see this guy get a buff. All right, Black Panther OG. So Black Panther, he got buffed. He's pretty good, and most people forgot about him. He didn't really do that much for the champion. Definitely made him better, but I think it quickly got washed out. We quickly found out that he's just still okay. And believe it or not, he's good with his own relic. Who would have guessed? Daredevil's Hell Kitchen, probably one of the worst buffs in the game in my opinion. Even when it came out, people were like, "Yeah, this guy is still mid." But he's still, he's a solid defender, being able to just shrug off debuffs and everything. A lot of skill attackers are about shrugging off, and yeah, shrugging is very annoying defensive mechanic, and he does it so freaking much. So yeah, he's a pretty solid defender. Elektra is actually pretty good. She has a lot of niche stuff, but it's nothing too crazy. She's still a mid character, but in the right circumstance, she actually can shine a bit, but there's not really too many instances where an Elektra can shine. Honestly, Karnak is probably one of the most forgettable champions in the game, if not the most forgettable champion in the game. He doesn't really do a whole lot. He's not hard to fight. He's not that good on attack. He's just pretty mid, but he does do some stuff that's better than trash. So he's definitely not trash. He's just mid. Kraven's also just mid. He's just a little more annoying on defense. Misty Knight's also a little bit more annoying on defense. She has evade. She has a lot of projectiles in her special attacks. She can go unblockable. She's got a little bit of stuff going for her, but not really a whole lot. Night Thrasher I actually think is a pretty cool character, but in game he's not that great. He requires a lot of skill and knowledge of his playstyle to play. He owns high sig, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it. Patriot, I'm actually thinking about promoting him because, as bad as he is, he's still got a lot of niche utility that's useful in a lot of places. So even though he's kind of bad, he can still deal with a lot of the game's BS. So I think that kind of makes him more of an average champion than a below average champion. And I mean, just looking at these guys, he definitely is the one I would promote out of everybody, and I almost just don't think he belongs with these guys. So I'm probably gonna end up promoting him to great, but I mean, he's still a decent champion. Ronan I actually think is pretty underrated, but he doesn't really have any utility outside of doing some nice bleed damage, and you really want a high ranked Ronan to see results. So if you need all that kind of stuff, probably don't want to rank him up. Squirrel Girl, another character that just does a lot of damage, doesn't have utility, but her damage is also pretty lacking as well. It requires the opponent to be able to be bled. So with all that being stacked against her, can't really put her any higher than just mid. Alright, now we got the final tier. So we got Trash. Black Widow OG is just, she doesn't do anything. She wants a high sig just to reduce the opponent's ability accuracy. But even then, there are characters who do that and more, and it's such a big investment just to get almost no results with Black Widow. So yeah, she is just trash. Daredevil OG is also trash. He's got one nice ability with his Awakened ability that actually made him one of the best collector counters back in the day, being able to, at max sig, 100% chance to evade projectiles. But I mean, outside of that, the collector fight, I'm not really going to be needing Daredevil OG for anything. Moon Knight's pretty trash. He's kind of annoying on defense. It just depends on the moon phase. So it's also he's probably the most RNG dependent character in the game, just because if you want it to be useful, you kind of have to wait for the right day, which is also insane. And when I say useful, I mean he probably becomes mid on a full moon. Punisher's pretty bad as well. It doesn't do anything. He's a little annoying on defense just because his special attacks kind of do a lot of piercing damage with his bullets, and it's just a bunch of projectiles. Winter Soldier, if I had to promote someone from this tier, it'd probably be Winter Soldier, as long as he has the Killmonger synergy. But where he turned into a mini Star-Lord. But outside of that, another character who's just trash. But yeah, that is the final tier list of the class sagas before I start doing like full on monthly tier list. I'm pretty sure this this actually felt like it's been I've been recording for this for a while. Might be my longest one out of all the 6. But yeah, keep this short. If you have any other thoughts, if you think characters should be promoted, demoted, that kind of stuff, just let me know your thoughts on any characters you see in the comments below, and I will be sure to look into them, update them if I see so. But yeah, that'll be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and goodbye.